and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today I'm going to try and foil Maverick by recording at a slightly different time of day. And this puzzle on screen, when this was sent to us by email, I just immediately said to Mark, look, if the test is like this, I really want to be the one to do it. It's by Marvin Canhauser, and Mark's had the pleasure of doing Marvin's puzzles on the channel before, but this is just so beautiful. Not only is it beautiful in terms of this cube shape, it's called the cube, you won't be surprised to hear, but also it's got these quadruple clues, of which I am quite a big fan. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this a go in just a moment. Before we do that, just a quick note about Jovial's Sudoku Extravaganza, which has of course been available on Patreon since the start of July. It's been garnering it's garnered the most incredible reviews, as I'm sure you know, and the solution video is now available over on Patreon, so do check that out if you haven't had a chance to look at that already. Now with that, let's get to the rules of Marvin's puzzle, and I'll read them to you. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. The digits in white circles must appear in one of the four cells touching the circle. So it's normal quadruple rules. Basically, that means in that 2x2 there, you've got to see a 3, a 4, and an 8 somewhere. You could see 2 3s, I suppose. You could have something like that, so long as you also had a 4 and an 8. So it doesn't stop you repeating a digit. It just means you must see a 3, at least 1, 3, 4, and 8 in those squares. The digit in the grey cell, that's that one, must be higher than its 4 orthogonal neighbours. So this is a fortress cell. So that means that whatever we put in here has got to be higher than all 4 of those squares. So for example, you won't get away with putting a 2 in there, because then you'd have to put 1s in both of those. That's a little tip. What else? Additionally, every edge of the cube sums to the same 2-digit number. And this number is given in the grid by the 3 2-cell cages. Oh, I see. Those 3, all of which are filled identically, with the tens digit as the top number and the units digit below that. Good grief. So that means that, let's imagine this was, I don't know, 17. That would be telling us that those 5 cells there add to 17, these 3 cells sum to 17, and every side of the cube would have to sum up to 17. That's gorgeous. Right. That's the rules. Do have a go. I've got no idea how hard this is, by the way. You should have a look at the length of the video. That's probably going to give you the best indication. And the way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, not sure whether I want to look at I was wondering whether it's best to look at the tens digit of the sum or the quadruple clues first. I think I'm going to look at the tens digit of the sum, because what I can see is that these 3 cells here, well, this side of the cube is only summing 3 different digits. Now, of course, I could repeat digits along here. I could have a 9 here and then an 8, 9 there, but that would add to 26. So this digit here is a 1 or a 2. That's the absolute maximum. So 26 would be the maximum I could make that length of the cube. So 26 is therefore sort of tops out how big the side of the cube can be. And the minimum value, given that's a 5-cell string, I could put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 along that side, and that would be 15. So the minimum value is 15, the maximum value is 26. Now we can repeat that 1, 2, presumably, in all of those tens digits, because we know all 3 of those squares are the same. If this square had been here, that would have been really interesting, because that would have been on the 3-cell diagonal, but it's not, it's on the 5-cell side. Okay, alright, so now I think we're going to have to look at the quadruple clues. Now my basic strategy for looking at quadruple clues is to try and find situations where digits are mirrored. So yeah, okay, look here for example. 2 and 7 is pretty interesting, because 2 and 7 have got to appear in that 2x2 and this 2x2 and this 2x2. Now this is fascinating, because what we can say with certainty, well, let's ask the question, let's just focus on the digit 2 to understand this first. How many 2s are we expecting there to be in row 4 of the grid? Well, the answer to that is not a trick question, It's 1. There is only going to be 1 2 in row 4. How many 2s are we expecting to see in row 5 of the grid? Again, not a facetious question, but the answer is 1. There's going to be 1 2 in this row. So altogether, in these 2 rows, there are exactly 2 2s. But we know where they are. Well, we know approximately where they are. One of them is in that 2 by 2 section, and one of them is in that 2 by 2 section. So there cannot be any 2s in any of those squares, and in particular, in these squares. So the 2 in this 2 7 combo has to be in one of those squares. And the thing that's interesting about that is that the logic is identical, of course, for 7. You can't put 7s in these squares either. So this I could see as a 2 7 pair. Which means 4, look, in this quadruple must be in that combination. We've now got 2 and 7 on the side of the cube as well. I was about to say 4 has to be here, but that's not true because the 4 could be here in this 4 7 quadruple. So we don't actually know what's going on there. What about 7 down here then? 7 must be in this domino, which means the 7 in this box has to be on the right hand side and must be somewhere in the 1 7 quadruple, so it's here. Okay, let's carry on with 7s because we know there are no 7s in those squares, so there must be a 7 in this domino in box 4. We also know there are no 2s in this triple from the 2s logic, so there must be a 2 up there. Now, does that do something with the 2 3 9? I think it does actually. Yes, here we go. Right, there's a 2 in this domino. The 2 3 9 needs a 2 in it. That 2 is not there. Can it be here? No, because the 2's over there in box 5, so that's our first digit, and that is the 2 in the cage. So now those become 2. This becomes a 2 7 pair. 2 must live in one of those 3 squares. 7 is on the side of the cube here, and that's not surprising, given that this is a 20 number, because if this had been a 2 here, then 20 just simply wouldn't have worked, would it? Because you can't make those add up to 20, and indeed the 2 would stop that from being a 2. So this is a 7. So these, how big can this be then? That can be a 9 8 as, here we go. The maximum size of these 2 squares would be an 8 and a 9. Well, that's only adding to 24, so 24 is the maxed out value of the cage now. And this, here we go, look down here, there's a 3 in this 2 by 2, so this can't even be 23. It can't be 22 for a factious reason. That's going to be a double 2 in the box. So this is a 1 or a 4. This is a 1 or a 4. This is a 1 or a 4. Now, is that enough to get us where we need to go? Oh, it is. Well, sort of. Look at this one now. So this square being a 1 or a 4 means that there's a 5 7 pair there because of the quadruple glue, and there's a 7 here. So this is 7, this is 5. 5 is going to put more pressure on that diagonal that's even on that diagonal. 5, I can go double 9, but even double 9 won't get me to 24. It'll only get me to 23. Yeah, if you go double 9 here, that diagonal only adds to 23, so 24 is an impossible number. So this must be 21, which gives us 1s there and there. So now this is adding up to 21 minus 5, 16. So it's either double 8 or 7 and 9. I don't know. Oh, no, it could be 7 and 9. I'm not sure if it can. If it's double 8, that might impact this one. Not sure. What about this side of the cube, though? This has got to add to 21. At the moment, it adds to 14. So those have got to add up to 7 without being 2, 5. So this is either 4, 3 or 1, 6, both of which rather annoyingly seem possible bobbins. So we can get rid of the 1s there. So yeah, okay, sorry, I'm not immediately seeing how to do that. We've got 12 there, we've got 9 there. What about those 2 squares? Can this be a 2? 21. No, it can't. If that's a 2, you've only got 9 in those 2. That doesn't work. So this has got to be 2. Therefore, this is not 2. These 2 squares add up to 14. So they're either 6 and 8, or they're 5 and 9. I'm not sure about that. Ah, okay. Well, that's a little bit interesting regarding 1 in this quadruple, which now can't be up there. So the 1 must be down here, and that's going to stop this being 1, 6, look. So that's now become 3, 4. And given I seem to have to put a 4 in one of those 2 squares, that will have to be the 4. That will be the 3. We can get rid of this square. I really like this so far. It's not difficult, but it's extremely original and very enjoyable. So I almost need a way to tick off the quadruple clues one, because this quadruple clue is completely used, as is this one, as is this one. This one is not. Oh, yeah, hang on, look, 1. We can just, this 1 down here means the 1 in this quadruple clue can only go there, and that gives us a 1 in box 5, and that's on, that means those add to 10, these add to 11, which is a bit annoying, because that, oh, maybe it's not actually, because it's not 2, 9 or 4, 7, so this is 5, 6 or 3, 8, but if it's 5, 6, this quadruple clue breaks, because you can't put 3, 7 and 8 into those squares. So this is 3, 8. If that's a 3... Oh, bobbins, you can make that work with double 9. Look at that. If that's 3, I was thinking this diagonal would break, but I'm not sure it does. Oh, what about this clue? I haven't looked at this fortress clue at all. It's probably a 9. We've not used 9s yet. Does it have to be a 9? No, you could hide the 9 here. So the 9 is in one of 2 places in box 5. This clue is you. Oh, look, I've got a 1, 2, 3 clue here. I've not even looked at this yet. So where does 2, yeah, where does 2 go in that quadruple clue? It's got to go here. That place is 1. That means there's a 3 vertically here. 3's a line in boxes 8 and 9. So we can now ask where 3 goes in row 9 of the grid. It's not there and it's not here. So it's in one of these 3 squares. 2 similarly is in one of those 2 squares. 1 is in one of these 3 squares and cannot possibly be on a 3-cell diagonal, because no matter how hard I try, I can't make 2 digits add up to 19. Okay. So I can see this square, look, can't be a 6, so there must be a 6 in this domino. I can remove 6 from that square, which means I can remove 8 from that square. Where does 3 go in this quadruple? It's got to go here. So now 4 has to be in this domino as well, just because we need to put a 4 in this sequence. Now this 3 is seeing that square at the bottom, which doesn't actually do anything, I don't think. Ah, no, but it does do something. This is incredibly clever, the way this is bouncing backwards and forwards between all these quadruple clues. This 3 now sees this one, forcing this to be a 3 and this to be an 8. Oh, that's a shame, so I avoid the double 9 possibility, which would have seriously limited this side. And in fact, therefore, we've got, what have we got, 13 into those squares. That's not that helpful, is it? I don't think we can limit that at all. So it's quite possible this is a 6 then, and that's a 7. That would look like it works. And it works with that quadruple and this quadruple too. Okay, so Where shall we look next? We know there's a 7 here. So which clues have we now used? We've got to put, where does 8 go in this one? It bounces back at the top. That's 8, so this is 6. Lovely. Now I suppose I could even use this one, could I? Those 3 squares have got to add up to 13. I don't think that's probably where we need to look next. That seems to have a bit of optionality about it. There's a 7 here. I've done this one. I've done this one. 5 maybe. Not sure about. Oh, hang on. Look, I've got 11 in those 3 squares. So I need 10 in those squares, and I can't do 1, 9 or 2, 8. So this is either 3, 7 or 4, 6. If it's 4, 6, it has to be in this order. And if it's 3, 7, it has to be in this order. So this square is a 3 or a 4 for sure. This square is a 6 or a 7 for sure. And this box still needs to have in it 5, 6, 8 and 9. I think I'll just pencil mark it and have a think. Obviously you can't put 9 next to the fortress squares, and you can't put 5 in there. And you can't put 6 in here because I can't make both of those digits lower. So this is 8 or 9. And I don't know. Oh, look, I've almost done this one. Sorry, that's a 6 then. So that's not a 6, which means there's a 6 in one of these 2 and a 6 in one of these 3. That rules 6 out. Look of this little square, which is in the 1, 3, 6, and that places 6 on that diagonal. That's gorgeous. So that becomes a 7. I need to still put 5 in. Oh no, hang on. I'm not sure I can do that. But this must be restricted now. We've got 13, 15. These 2 squares have got to add up to 6 without being 2, 4. So they're 1, 5, and we know the order. Right, good. This 5 is forcing 5 into the central box. Look, that's now got to be 5. Now, have we done it nearly? I just want to write 9 in here and it won't let me. Right, hang on, let's check all of these sides. I haven't done that one. I haven't done this one, although I can remove 8 from this square, which means I can remove 8 from this square because these added to 16. So this is a 7, 9 pair now. Now maybe this side is going to tell us everything we need to know. So we've got 10 so far. These have to add up to 11, and this can't be a 2, so this can't be a 9. So this is 7, this is 4, this is 9. That square we don't know about. That 1, 7 clue is fine. This 9, is that doing something? It is a little actually. Look, 9 has got to be in one of those 3 squares, which places 9 on the left of the grid, which means 9 has to be in one of these 3 squares. Don't know if we know which one. And 9 has to be in one of those 3 squares. Now let's have a look along here where we need 5 and 8, which we can just write in. That's what I like to do. This has got to be a 6, 7 pair by Sudoku using the 6, 7 there, which means those 2 squares are a 3 and a 4. Which means we can place this digit, I think, at the bottom of the column. That now is a 9, which removes 9 from there. 9 is in one of these 2 squares, which removes 9 from here and places the 9 in box 7. Can we do the 9s? Oh yeah, there's a little trick we can do with 9s now. Ask where 9 goes in column 4, look. Because the 9's here, it's not there. So it's got to be in one of those 2 squares, and it can't be in that one. So this is a 9. Now this column needs, oh no it doesn't, it needs 5 and 6. I was about to say it needs 4 and 6. It needs 5 and 6. Which doesn't actually, well, that might be resolved in a way I'm not appreciating immediately. What about here? We know there's a 3 vertically. If that's 8, that's 6, and that's 9, I don't know if there's anything wrong with that. Okay, come on, where should we look? Where are the easy wins in this puzzle? How many 1s have we got? The answer to that is many. Many 1s, but maybe not enough to quite finish off the 1s. Ah, yeah, it is. There's a 1 here. There's a 1 here. Thank you, software, that was helpful. Now, 2s, yeah, we can place 2 here. Gosh, it highlights how bad my scanning is, doesn't it, when I double-click the digits like this. Okay, so 2s are just an X-wing in boxes 4 and 7. What about 3s? Oh, we hardly got any 3s. Well, but so we can still place this one. So that's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 4. 4 lives in this domino at the top. Maybe 4s now are the place to look. No, we don't really know much about them either. And which have I actually used all of these clues now? I may have done. I mean, all but, I think. And I've done all the sides of the cube. So we just have to sort of figure out the last step, I think. Now, is there an efficient way of doing that? Maybe this column, we've got 6 digits in it. We need 3s, 4s, and 8s. That's a naked single, good grief. Okay, so that's a 4, which means that's a 3. Again, that's a naked single, and this is an 8, which means 8 lives in one of those squares. 3 lives in one of these squares, and look, this is good. Now we know the 3 must be in the quadruple, so it can't be there, which places it here. Now that means this is a 7. If I remember rightly, those 2 squares had to add up to 10. So maybe this row now, where we need 4s, 5s and 6s, that's going to give us a 6 over on this side, which fixes the 6 and the 7. Now there's a 7 in one of those 2 squares, and those 2 squares are a 4-5 pair, which we can't do, it seems. And these 2 squares have got to be a 2 and a 7, which I also can't do. But that's the fact the 7 is down here locks the 7 in there, look. So this column looks like the one we should focus on now, with 4s and 8s. Yeah, we can focus on it, but we can't actually do it. Oh, I tell you what, this digit, no, I suppose if that's a 9, there's literally no pressure at all on this digit. If that was an 8, that would force that to be a 9, so maybe there's going to be some sort of coordination between this square and this square in order to finish off the fortress part of the puzzle. Right, let's have a look at this box. We need 5s and 7s, which we can do. 7 and 5 go in. That fixes the 5 and the 4 at the bottom of the grid. Now 4 has to live in the same... No, that's no good. I was about to say in the same domino we have 9s, but we've actually pencil marked 9s into 3 cells, so that's no use. What about this row then? 4s, 5s and 9s. Oh no, come on. This is a naked single. That's a 9. That means this is not a 9. Finally, we place the 9 here, which actually is pretty useless in terms of limiting any of those squares. But anyway, it's still, at least it's another digit in the grid. 4 has to go here in box 8. So this is a 5 or a 6, and it's placeable. We can do the 5, we can do the 6, we can do the 6 up here, therefore. We need a 5 in this box, we need an 8 in this box, we need the 8 and the 6 to be finished. And we're probably just cleaning up now, I think. This needs 4 and 8 into this square, which is going to mean this square has got to be a 5. And maybe the central row, where we need 3, 4 and 9. Yep, that one's not bad, that's a 3. So these are a 4-9 pair, doesn't seem to be resolved yet. Let's now have a look at, well, 9 can't go there, I can see. Once we place this 9, we could have known that. So maybe this column, I feel like I'm doing this part of the puzzle a little inefficiently, but never mind, we're getting there. 2s, 6s and 8s. So this is a 6, oh, hang on. And then 7 is done, of course. That was very odd. Okay, so that's a 2 now. That seems to place the 4 here, the 9 here, the 6 here. This square's now got to be an 8. That places the 8, 4, the 4, the 8. This square's a 9, and this should be a 3, and that is how to finish a very, very beautiful puzzle indeed. Good lord, that was a lot of fun, and yeah, and a little bit of logic. that really flowed very nicely. And what I love about this is that the cube theme has sort of been exploited to the max. It really fitted together well, and the way that the quadruple logic interacted with the sides of the cube was beautiful. So Marvin, take a bow. I really enjoyed that. I enjoy the look of it. I enjoy the solve of it. I hope you guys did too. Let me know in the comments, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.